This is the Bergara B-14 Wilderness Series Sierra chambered in 30-06. This is going to be the hunting rifle that I'm getting all set up for this year for whitetail, and who knows what else. This Bergaras are made in Spain. The barrels are made in Spain. They're known for their high quality. It's a fluted barrel. It's got a fluted bolt. I'll run through some of the specs on here, what I like and possibly dislike about it, and what I've done to it to get it ready to hunt. Let's start with why I chose this Wilderness Sierra in 30-06. I've never owned a 30-06. My brother owns a 30-06. My dad owns a 30-06. They hunt with a 30-06. I like a 270. I guess I like to be different. But the 270 I have is fantastic. I really love it. But let's face it, a 270 is just a neck down version of a 30-06. 30-06 is a powerful round. It'll take down anything that North America has to throw at it. You could find ammo anywhere. This has 1 in 10 twist. It's got a fluted barrel. It has a muzzle brake on here that comes off, and I can put my suppressor on it. That is the goal. But I am going to sight this in without the suppressor to see if that makes a difference. Because if I go to New York to hunt, I can't use it because of, you know. But I want to see how accurate it is with and without the suppressor. Fluted bolt, I mean, this thing is like butter. One of the reasons, you can see that this is empty. One of the reasons that I really like Bergaras is when I shot them at SHOT Show, the action is very smooth. They are very accurate, very comfortable to shoot. This one, I chose the Wilderness Sierra because it has an adjustable cheek piece, the comb, and all it takes is an Allen wrench that is provided. You adjust it, you get it exactly where you want it, and you lock it down. Now, if you want to take the bolt out, you do have to drop that down. So when you get it situated and set, I put a little mark under here with permanent marker. That way I know where to set it every time. I put Vortex Precision scope rings on here. I put a Diamondback Tactical 4-16x44 scope on here. Why didn't I put a Viper? Why didn't I put a Razor? I've already been asked that question for the few people that I've talked to. I don't really need to reach out with this, and the Diamondback Tacticals are great for me out to 300, 400 yards. The max that I'm going to be able to really shoot in the areas that I hunt, quite honestly, is about 200 yards. Maybe 3 if I'm lucky, but I tend to put the bow hunting mentality together even when I rifle hunt, and I try to get as close as I possibly can. Why did I choose the precision scope rings for this? That was not my first choice. It's not that I don't like Vortex rings. I like a one-piece ring, so I had the Warren Skyline Precision scope mount. But the Picatinny rail that's on here, and I'll share a picture here, the Bergara logo is right in the middle. The Warren Skyline Precision scope mount has 4 screws that go through it, and they need to rest inside the grooves, and they can't do it in the middle. So I could either replace the rail with a Tally rail, which is about $70, or I could buy the scope rings for about $80 and have high quality rings and keep my other mount. So that's what I did. The adjustability of these is great. These things torque down really well, and I really like them. I did put an aftermarket Picatinny rail underneath, an accessory rail, because I wanted to add a bipod. Now, I'm not a huge fan of bipods on rifles. They do have their applications. I typically, when I'm shooting for long range, I will just set it on my backpack or my knee or something like that and shoot. But sometimes the bipod does come in handy. And I put the Accutac bipod on here because I can adjust this forward, back. I can get it just right on a rock or tree or you name it. This does have a hinged floor plate, and I am not a huge fan of the hinged floor plate due to the fact that I do hunt in the snow quite often with a rifle, and just popping that open and watching your rounds drop all over the ground when you're not paying attention sucks. That being said, this is a sleeker design. It works great, and I don't have a magazine sticking out. Now, I do like having a 5-round magazine in most of my rifles just because I can stick it in my pocket and empty the rifle very quickly. I don't have to just drop everything out and reload it. It doesn't really take that long. But I'm going to give it a shot with the hinged floor plate first. This does have a very light trigger. Now, it's advertised that it's right around 2 pounds, 2.1 pounds, 2.2 pounds, something like that. I've tested it against the rifles that I have, just dry firing. It breaks really easily. It's about a 2-pound trigger. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to test it out and see what it comes in at, give you an average, but it's light. One pound, 15.4 ounces. One pound, 12.3 ounces. One pound, 12.1 ounces. Two pounds, 0.3 ounces. One pound, 12 ounces. So you can see it's less than 2 pounds on that pull. Average was 1 pound, 13.7 ounces. That's very light. I chose this rifle for another reason, and it's the actual stock. I'm not a huge fan of modern stocks, and I say modern being the last 100 years. Just the angle of them. My wrist doesn't like it. I like something that comes down almost to a pistol grip. This does exactly that. It comes almost straight down. It does have a slight angle here, but it's fantastic. It's very comfortable, very ergonomic, can sit for a long time holding onto this and not have an issue. This thing also does come with extended spacers, or spacers that you can extend out to move that butt plate back. I haven't seen, I may add 1 or 2. I haven't quite figured out exactly where I want it yet. I want to take it to the range to see, and we'll go from there. I did, I like this action for a couple reasons. One, if you look at, it's got very little play in it. I did add some Battleborn grease to it, but this thing, I'm very lightly holding on to the bolt knob. This thing is fantastic. Locks right down, secure. I really like the way it's built. And it's right around 7 pounds, a little over 7 pounds, which is, to me, is about average for a rifle until you start adding stuff to it. So probably this thing is going to weigh right around 9 pounds. I'll weigh it and share with you guys what it is. But I'm going to take this out to the range, and it's got a sub MOA guarantee. So I'm going to use some Barnes TTSX Vortex ammo that is factory before I start doing hand loads for it, and we're going to go have some fun.